Hello.
Hi.
Oh, this is so awkward. This is my first live, and I don't know what to say. But
This is our final read along, or live for the read along. And today we're going to be discussing Empire Dreams. We all finished it in time, right?
Yeah.
yes.
And yeah, sorry we're a bit late, a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got there. So should we start with like overall thoughts maybe?
Yeah.
Or introduce yourself, I guess.
Yes.
Sorry. We haven't done this before.
And so I'm Ishi. Welcome to my channel. And I like this book, but I didn't like it better than the series. And I'm not exactly sure what to rate it yet, but I'm thinking like a good 3 in the middle. Because I thought it was cute, and I thought it was like a good wrap up in the series where we get to know where all the characters end up. But I wouldn't but it wasn't my favorite.
I'm Megan from Meg with Books. I really liked it. I would say I probably liked it like almost as much as the rest of the series, just, like for different reasons. Though I felt like it was like a good amount of different to the rest of the series. It had a bit of a different vibe, but I gave like all the rest of the series like 4 or 4.5, and I read some like trashy books this week, and I gave one of them a 3. And so in my head, I'm like, this is much better than that book I gave a 3. So I'm not going to be giving this book a 3. I'm giving it a 4. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, but like I haven't quite formed my thoughts on it yet. So it'll be interesting to see what everyone else thinks and like what we all liked about it. What about you, Nicole?
I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. I'm very conflicted. I'll get into it. For me, the start started off really strong and I was really in the mood for it, and then it kind of went downhill. So I don't know what I'm going to rate it.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, wow. I'll get into why. There was a couple of things that really annoyed me, like petty things, so nothing bad, but...
Okay, I didn't expect that reaction.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll get into it, but yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm Nicole from Nicole No Books. And yeah, I have a lot of thoughts today, so...
Okay. Hi, I'm Simone from the channel Chasing Pages, and I like this one better than I like the last book in the last series, but I feel like I like the first and the second book better than this one.
Yeah.
So I ended up giving it 4 stars just because I really, really loved the beginning, and the middle kind of just slowed down a little bit, but I think the ending really pulled it together. So yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, should we give like...
Sorry, don't worry. I just had a really loud noise from a different tab I have open, and I thought everyone heard it.
I thought I was hearing something, but I wasn't sure. I was just like,
yeah, it's me. Sorry.
Should we give like an overall summary, or is that not really necessary?
Well, we can't really say too much about this book, but it is a sequel standalone to the Girl on Fire and Thorns original trilogy. And we're following a character that we were introduced to in the last book called Red. And in the original book, she is a child. And in this one, she's about 16. So I can't really say anything more than that.
Yeah. Should we get into spoilers right away then?
Like, yeah.
I think so. Like, I don't think it's like a really...
Yeah, there's not like much non-spoilery we can say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, should we start off?
We're back.
Sorry.
We should start off like lighthearted and go with our favorite characters.
Ooh. I loved Red. I did love Red.
Red?
Yeah.
I really
loved her dynamic with Rosario.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I didn't understand though how she called Rosario little brother, but he called her little sister.
Because they don't know when she's born.
Oh, okay.
And because she's mixed race,
Yeah.
like it's hard to determine how old she actually is.
Makes sense. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, and so I think they both want to think that they're the older one.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, I thought that was cute.
I think my favorite character was, I don't really know how his name is spelled, but it's like Yvonne. That's how they said it in the book, right?
Yeah. I think he might be my favorite too. Yeah. I think
actually,
like the book is... I'm sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, like, the book is so focused on Red that like she kind of has to be one of your favorite characters if you enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so much of it is her. Do you know that all the other characters feel a lot smaller? Because it's like really her story. I think even more than the other books, like were Elisa's story. Like, I think this is really like about her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I found a lot of the training, like all the guys she trained with, like I thought their characters were pretty interchangeable. Like I couldn't tell them apart like half the time until they did something.
I thought Yvonne and what's that other guy who like betrayed them at the end?
Aldo?
Yeah. I think those two I could tell apart, but all the rest of them were pretty interchangeable too.
Yeah.
Well, there was what's his name? Oh my god, I've just finished this book. Beginning with V.
Valentino.
Yeah. Him. Like, I feel like he was at least a bit different. But yeah, I guess. But I think if they had had all of the boys have really distinct personalities, it would have felt like a bit too busy.
Yeah,
they're not that important to the story.
Oh, is that how Yvonne was spelled? I would have totally said that like Ivan, like if I was reading it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was how it was spelled. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's interesting, because I feel like one of her strong points with the original trilogy was each character was so individual. And I mean, we all talked about Cosme. She was only in book 1, and we always wanted more of her. She stood out so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was a lot of characters in here, though. I don't know. It felt like there was a lot more than there were in the other books, because I feel like even though when they would add a character in for like a specific plot in the first trilogy, it would be just them and a few other people, and then it would like switch. But I feel like it was a bunch of different people at like the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I guess I think it was that way because they can't just have like a school but and only have like a couple people. So I think it was that way just so we know that there's a bunch of other people here, but then she probably didn't want to give a bunch of other people like their own personality, because then it would be too like cluttered.
What I was going to say is, like, what did you all think about how in like the original trilogy we were constantly traveling places? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was really busy. Like, we'd go here, then we'd go here, then we'd go here. Whereas in this one, we're in the same place the whole time. And that was like a bit strange to me reading it, because like I'm used to the pace of the other books where like you move.
Yeah.
This one's like completely stationary. You're literally in one place the whole time.
I really liked it the first half of the book because I thought it was well balanced with the flashbacks that we got when we was a child. Because we got to know her like prior to when we met her in the other books. But yeah, and then it kind of that's when it went downhill for me. So.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the flashback chapters. Like, I feel like
oh really?
Yeah, like we find out what happened to her and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of it we already knew.
So soon, yeah.
So it
especially
didn't
to the end,
new stuff.
Yeah, I actually I looked forward to the flashback chapters because it changed the pace up a little bit sometimes. Like sometimes at the beginning, or no, if like in the middle, if we'd had loads of the now chapters, I'd be like, okay, give me a then chapter, because it kind of like switched it up a bit. But definitely towards the end, I found it a bit strange that there was so much flashback of when she had met Alisa. Like literally verbatim, word for word, like copied what we'd already read. Do you know what I mean?
I did
Yeah.
like those bits. I liked learning the bits like that we hadn't heard of before.
Mm.
But I guess she assumes like people haven't read this book in ages. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think she assumes people have read it like so
Like last
recently,
month.
like we have. Yeah. I think she probably assumes like, oh, it's been years. I
Maybe.
got to refresh their memory a bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
possibly.
I'm trying to think what else. What did we think about the flashbacks then? Like in terms of like how she dealt with PTSD during the book and stuff like that.
I don't think there was any PTSD. Was there?
I think
really?
I think it was a
In the
little
second
bit where
book.
she was like alarmed, but like when she heard bells and stuff, she was like scared for a second. Like there was like little bits and pieces, but I don't think it was that big.
Did she have a nightmare? Was there
In
nightmares?
the acknowledgements, in the author's note, she says like this book is about PTSD.
I don't think it's like
That's what she says the book is about. Do we to tell you what she says? She like it opens up with post-traumatic stress disorder affects approximately 3.5% of adults in the US. I wrote Red's experience of PTSD to reflect my own. Her sleeping challenges, a socially embarrassing startle reflex, the inability to perceive love from others, even when it's obvious to everyone else, haunting but imperfect memories of traumatic event. And then it gives like loads of like, yeah, loads more information on PTSD. Like that's what this book is about. It's about PTSD.
Oh shit, that's news to me. I can kind of see that now because she was really like reluctant to accept love from others and think that others would accept her, but
I feel like that could just be like a personality trait as well. You
yeah,
what
I know.
mean?
Like I didn't think that was PTSD. That was not
Yeah.
obvious to me.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god,
think-
that's so weird.
That's so true.
I think because I read. Sorry, what were you saying?
Was it obvious to you, Meg?
I think I'd read on like a Goodreads review, or maybe I'd seen the author's note before I started that like it was due to PTSD. I think it was on a Goodreads review. And so like I think I just knew it going into it, like, oh, this is going to be about her experience of PTSD.
Huh.
But
I think there were some moments in the book where I recognized that like that makes sense that she like still have trauma about that and stuff, because there was some like she had nightmares, and then she like when she heard the bells, like I don't know what bells they were, but like the alarms when they wake the students up, like she didn't like that. So there were some myths, but I wouldn't exactly call this book about PTSD.
And there was that bit where she was getting beaten up in the barracks at night. Remember how the boys jumped her? And then she kind of had a bit of a flashback to one of her old owners. But other than that, I can't think of any other examples.
Yeah, I agree with Katie. Like we could have like the consequences a bit more.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because that kind of goes in with my problem of this book was I felt like it started off as a really character-focused story and then it kind of ended up being about this random plot about the Empire and this circuit love child of the king, and I was like, are you kidding me? And it just became less and less about Red when it was all about Red at the start.
That's true. Also, I never understood why the bells set her off. Like, was it just because they were loud, or did she associate it with something? But I feel like we were never told.
I thought just
Yeah, I don't think we ever learned what she associated it with, because even in the flashback chapters, there wasn't anything about bells or like loud noises in any way.
But then in the now, she was constantly mentioning it. She was constantly like, the bells, the bells. I'm like, okay.
Okay, also I thought that she was gonna end up having like magical powers or something, because there were some flashback chapters about her like suddenly I don't know if she was just cold and like delirious, but the one where she's like, I'm a bird, I can fly. Like
I think she just hallucinated.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember reading that and I was so confused on what was happening.
I was like, is it because of the cloak? Is it acting as like a parachute? I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, and you know when she was attacked in her sleep and she's like, she was calling on some sort of a power and she like lost herself a bit fighting them. I thought it was going to be like her magical power awakening when she finds out that she has all these powers, but it was just like not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what happened with the fight was that like she went into that trauma zone. Do you know what I mean? And so she was fighting. She wasn't like conscious of what she was doing. She was like lost in the trauma. Do you know what I mean? Like her associating it with past events. Yeah, there wasn't much magic in this book.
Yeah.
I wasn't really expecting it to be honest.
I kind of wanted there to be more magic.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
I don't think of that till now, but I suppose I'm not.
Take that away. I didn't spell it out right.
Oh
no. Actually, going back with that, because one thing I really thought was really interesting was how the beginning of the book, Red kept saying how she doesn't believe in God.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to explore that more, and then it was completely dropped from the story. Like that's what I felt like. We had all these elements of her character that we were going to explore and kind of like go on a journey with her, and I was kind of ready for that, and then I feel like it was all dropped.
That's true.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you're making me think things that I hadn't thought before. And I'm like, yeah, that's so true. When I hadn't thought of it before. Yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, because when we read through Elisa's point of view, she was like, she believed in God like a lot, and she had so much faith. So going into this book, when Red like didn't really believe in like religion, I thought it would be like an interesting like balance to Elisa's story, where we find out like a whole different kind of like different mindset that people have, but then it was like they never really went into it.
Because also she has such a different like life experience to Elisa, who was pampered her entire life, and you know, this girl was a slave. So I don't know, I really wanted that to be explored, and then I just hated when the whole overthrow the empire because of this secret love child came out of nowhere, and I was like, there was no build up to that either.
That's
true. I got so annoyed.
I know.
I was like, are you seriously pulling this out of left wing?
I also thought, what was her name? Arenia? Or Arenia?
I thought she died.
I thought she died too.
No, they named her after. Wait, what?
No,
who was that?
She was like Alejandro's mistress when...
Because she was in the first book, and she died at the end of the first book, I'm sure.
Oh,
is it a different mistress?
It must be, but I thought it was her.
But it's her.
I thought
it was the same name.
She died.
Yeah, right. So I was like, wait, how did you have a child? How are you still alive?
Hang on. I'm gonna look this up on my Kindle.
Because I thought it was her, but then I also thought she was.
It's at the very end of the first book, right after Alejandro like is injured. She dies immediately.
Yeah, she gets like caught in some crossfire or something.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna do some investigating.
I mean, surely she didn't make that mistake, but I was trying to work out who she was.
Katie says it might have been better as a duology. I kind of agree, because then we would have had more time to explore the characters instead of just kind of having like a purely plot-based story.
Really? Where was the plot in this?
Not plot, but you know, like we're just like saving the empire, and like it's just, like,
I think if it was a duology, I think I'm thinking the opposite though. Like if it was a duology, I think there could have been more time to actually make a plot, because I don't think there was much of a plot. She just pulled out random things that happened out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, good. Sorry, it's not even 6 a.m. here.
Okay, I can't believe you both planned a live show but didn't make it like a better time for yourself.
Oh no, it's fine. It really is. I'll just be extra salty.
Okay. Hang on. Sorry, I spoke too soon. Give me.
Oh
No. Okay, yeah. So, in the first book, what I found is that Alejandro asks her, "Arena's dead, isn't she?" And Elisa goes, "I'm not sure. I think so."
How could you not know?
I'm sure she was dead.
But I can't see it saying, "Oh, she actually dies."
I feel like she wouldn't keep her character alive if like she wouldn't make a difference later. But I feel like the author didn't plan on making this next book when she wrote the original trilogy. So why would she make it so they don't know if she was actually dead or not?
I thought she died.
Oh my god. I can remember this description of her being on the floor, like covered in blood, like clearly dead.
Yeah.
And like, what didn't Elisa just say that to Alejandro because he's like on his deathbed to comfort him?
I'm not sure. Yes, hang on. The army breaks the. I'm on Wikipedia, so like this may not be trustworthy, but the army breaks through the palace's defenses and kills Irina. She's dead.
How do you make that mistake as an author?
Nah, this ain't it. No. This can't. Does she actually die?
I swear she does. That's why I got so confused when she appeared.
She can't have made that mistake about her own books. Like, people proofread this. Nah. Hang on. What?
I mean, it's been years, so.
But you would remember if you killed off your own character.
Especially if you're going to use him as a big plot, like, a point later on. Like, you would think
you'd
at least check.
Like, it would make sense if she maybe gave birth to some secret child before she died, but, like, no, she was in this book. She showed up in this
she was in the scene. Because I thought it was a huge deal as well, because Cosme is her half-sister, and that's why Cosme inherited the throne to wherever she's located, and she didn't because she died.
No, guys. She can't have made that mistake. I'm like looking through the ebook trying to find where her name is mentioned to try and like.
And the other thing I'll say is it's a personal pet peeve of mine when the author makes these sequel series and they kind of have to rely on an old villain. You know what I mean? To bring it in again to have that impact when it's like you don't have the creative capacity to rewrite a new villain. Like that's supposed to be your job, but.
Yeah, that is annoying.
That really annoys me because I find because you know how there's so many sequel series at the moment with a lot of popular YA books, like a lot of staple YA books. I find so many of them have done that, and just every time it happens, I'm just like, oh.
I know. I feel like after all these years, they don't have someone new who's like has a problem with the royal family.
And I actually think it would have been really nice if this book didn't have a villain. Like I think it could have just been about Red as a character getting along with like everyone else in the story. You know what I mean? There was so much because her character had a lot of depth. I feel like there would have been enough to explore.
The one thing I would say though was I didn't really like the ending. Like other than the whole reveal, I thought that usually these kind of books have like a big battle at the end, whereas this was like much more contained but still interesting. Like whereas you had like the plot twists. I did think it was like a good alternative to having a big battle. Like it was a good middle ground between like a big battle and like when you have a book and they just kind of talk it out at the end and then everything's fine. Like it was like a good middle ground, I thought, between the two. But yeah, I think like I don't know why they couldn't have just have the son still be in the plot, but have the other guy, I can't remember his name, Aston, like be the one solely behind the plot with this kid. You didn't need her to turn up. But then even for it to be his kid is a bit like, you know, come on.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there wouldn't have been enough time in the book because the last 3 books, we had like a whole 3 books to like establish a villain.
Yeah.
But I still would have liked
That's why I
reckon
reckon it would have been cool if there wasn't a villain.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon that would have been really interesting. And also different to the other series because there was, the whole time they were kind of fighting this power and trying to make sure the empire's put to rights.
I feel like the reason it was kind of rushed at the end was because of the flashbacks kind of took over part of the story, and since it was like focused on the character instead of like the whole thing at the end where everyone was poisoned and then they were trying to figure out what actually happened, that was kind of had to be rushed because of the build up from the beginning of just like developing Red's character. And I also think that the reason for that is probably just because so she could prove herself in order to be like claimed as like adopted, you know, by the end.
I did think it was weird that like it had taken them so long to try and adopt her, like formally.
Like why wouldn't they adopt
that's
her right
what I
away?
questioned too.
I get that they wanted to probably wait until they had a biological child to do so, so that
Wasn't the daughter 4 years old?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They had 4 years after she was born to have done it at the very least.
And she's
But they
basically
already
grown
had
up by
Rosario
now.
as like an heir, so it wouldn't have mattered if they had like another biological child or not.
Yeah, but I think it was just for safety, in case he's assassinated, then at least it's your biological child that's second in line.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think people were trying to assassinate him, so like, yeah.
It's still kind of weird because she's basically all grown up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then like
I thought it was because. Go ahead.
You go.
I was gonna say I thought it was because like they didn't have the whole council like on her side.
Yeah,
but that could just be, I don't know, because they were like before she got the ceremony or whatever, they were like, oh, we had enough votes before, and then someone changed their mind. So I thought it was because it took a while for them to get everyone on board with it, and then by the time they did, they were like, someone changed it, you know?
Yeah, but like 8 years.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Yeah, boy.
Because it was 8 years, like roughly 8 years since the last book, and then like 4 years since their kid's been born. So like, I don't know. I think that was weird. I guess it was just like what worked for the plot, but.
And the other thing is like, I feel like any of the original group could have adopted her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I feel like, okay, it would have been cute if Storm adopted her because he's like in Vierne. And she's like half.
Or like, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say it would have been like a cool dynamic, especially because she hated her in Vierne half. So it would be cool to see her grow up.
See, that was another side of her that I was so interested in and like wanted to explore somehow, but it was just, I don't know, put up for display, but then never taken anywhere.
Yeah. Or like she was kind of like, Mara was the reason that they took her in. Like Mara was one who was like, we're gonna take her. So like I feel like she was really close to Mara.
Yeah, I feel like she was closer to Mara than Lisa.
Yeah.
And also too, do you really reckon she needed to be adopted? Like, I get why, but like, she obviously had found a home, and that had been her home for a really long time.
Yeah. Or like, why did no one just think of doing what they did at the ending beforehand, like adopting her but not putting her in the line of succession?
Yeah, then they could have adopted her way before their daughter was born too.
Yeah. Or like, I didn't understand. It didn't seem like they were kind of before she was adopted, like they were treating her as if she was their kid, which I would have thought they would have done. Like, oh, we'll treat you as if you're our child, but we haven't formally adopted you. But it didn't feel like they necessarily were. It felt like they were kind of distant.
I feel like we didn't get that though, because like Hector and Elisa were gone the whole time.
Yeah.
We had like her talk about Hector training her and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of like the scenes where she and Hector were like interacting because it seemed like a father-daughter dynamic.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I guess it was more Elisa. I felt like she was a bit distant from.
Yeah.
But I feel like we only ever saw her with Elisa in a crowd, and because it was in a crowd, Elisa had to put on her queen face.
Yeah. But I even thought it was weird that she had to wait a month to go see. I mean, I understand why she had to, but like, I wouldn't wait a month if I was in her position.
Where did they go again? I completely skipped over that.
They went back to Elisa's like home.
Oh, okay.
Because they have like better nurses or something.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it was because Elisa would be like vulnerable, like when she was pregnant. So they wanted her to be like.
I think it was a bit of both.
Yeah. I'm surprised Hector went though, because wouldn't it make sense for like someone to stay in the castle?
But I suppose he doesn't have much like actual power. Like Rosario probably is more important.
I guess that's why Tristan stayed. Conde Tristan.
Yeah.
Did he say?
Yeah, he was there like the whole time.
Isn't he part of the quorum, like the 5 people that are like always there?
But I reckon he's like really trusted him up, you know.
That's true.
So.
Oh my god, Tristan. Throwback. Did you miss Elisa and Hector? Like, do you wish they were there more, or do you not?
No,
I feel like because. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say no because it's not their story, and we've had their story.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been cool to like. In some ways, I think I would have preferred flashbacks to like when she was young with them, like once she met them, like in the palace, maybe, rather than like some of the other flashbacks.
Yeah, especially the scenes where we read in the previous.
Where we'd already read, like I feel like they could have easily summed that up in a paragraph, and then like we could have had like a flashback or two with her living in the palace, like trying to get used to it after being a slave, like that kind of thing. I think it would have helped us like see their relationship a bit more, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I was surprised at was, remember like the glass blower and Vierne woman?
Yeah.
Because from the last book, I thought that she was like nice. I thought that she had been like a motherly figure to her, but then when we went into this book and she was like absolutely horrible, I was like, what?
Yeah. Well,
I thought she wasn't nice in the first book.
Yeah, I think so too, because like she did sell her off. I don't know.
That's true.
There were certain things with the flashbacks that like I'm not sure what was suggested happened. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's very much intended though, because
I think so too.
Your imagination can see the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, I hate that woman.
Oh, me too.
It makes you think that like the pub guy isn't even that bad.
Yeah,
the pub guy.
I agree. I don't like the old like too much of the old characters.
Yeah, I love the parts with Hector.
Yeah, they were the best. Actually, one thing I would say though is I wish Rosario was in it more. He was hardly in it. Like I understand why, but I definitely wanted him.
I remember in the previous books, Rosario didn't really want to be like king, because that was like a whole thing, right? Like he was like, and I feel like I kind of wonder if he still thinks the same now that he's older.
There was like a bit where he was like, is that going to be my life forever? Like constantly being afraid someone's going to kill me. But I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't really get to know him too much.
No.
He's like an interesting character because I feel like overall in the series he was hardly actually ever there, but he really, I don't know, made a statement.
I know. I feel like he's one of he's one of the more memorable characters in this book. Yeah,
I think that's definitely a strong point, her characters, but then like plot and stuff. And I think that's where her pacing kind of fails as well, because the plot's, I don't know what the plot is, but
I really did like all the training scenes where they're learning like how to use swords and stuff. Like I thought that was fun.
What is that noise? Can you hear that?
I can.
What is that?
I don't
is it you, Simone? Are you playing with something?
I don't hear anything.
It was like going like...
That's the washing machine.
No, it was like...
No, it sounds like someone's playing with something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like a pen.
No. It has to be a washing machine. That's the only thing that's making a loud noise.
One thing I did like about this is there was no romance. Like I liked that she wasn't put into a romance, or like fell in love with Ivan, wherever he said his name at the end. Like I
Yeah.
liked that
There was a little bit of
also-
hints of it, but it wasn't like a thing.
Yeah, like on the last page, I thought, but at least it wasn't like a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. I feel
I
like
do think this book would have benefited from. This is how I would have liked it to go in two ways. One way was, like I said, more character focused and to be a standalone, or if it was a duology and there was more of a plot involved, like, and something to do with her. It would have been cool if it was about her, you know, training buddies and something happens with them, like not something that threatens the Empire, but something that threatens them, and it's about them doing that. Because I just felt like it needed to be more of Red's own story, like not about the Empire, not about Elisa again, because like we had a whole trilogy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh, we're the royal guards. We have to do anything to protect our prince.
But they're trainees.
Yeah,
like, they're not royal guards.
Like you haven't sworn into anything. You've been doing this a few months.
And I wanted to know like more about like the older trainees, because like they only ever popped up when like they needed information or for convenience.
Yeah.
And it was like it would have been really interesting to have this whole dynamic with them. You know what I mean? Like it was at a training school and we really delved into that kind of story.
Yeah. And I think did you call that, what's his name? The baddie. What's his name? The kid baddie.
Oh, Aldo?
I can't remember.
Yeah, Aldo. I was gonna say Alod, and I was like, that's not right. But I had all the right letters. Did you call that he was like a baddie, or did you not? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I didn't. But then
to be honest, it took me ages to tell them all apart.
Yeah, me too.
I had no chance.
I think I imagined Aldo as like this really like short, like tubby guy, but I don't think that's actually how he looked. But we know that I struggle to imagine people in these books. I imagine him as the kid from Up, but like that's not how he looked.
No, wait, who was the really short one that like
Aldo?
was that him?
No, the short one.
Yeah, he was the short one.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
No, because the short one, whoever they did like the
one who was bad at everything.
with. Yeah. That wasn't him, surely not. I did not know, Katie.
Yeah, he was the short one because he was like, I'm short, but I'm the best looking one here. Right?
The one who came in, the one where Elisa was standing all alone, and then he came in, and he was like, "See, I a tall, skinny guy."
Is that there was the other guy in here?
This is so bad. How do
who was always?
See, I told you they're interchangeable.
Was it that character who was like always like really snarky, or no?
Wasn't that Yvonne?
Yeah, that was Yvonne.
No, there was another guy.
Oh, that was
Valentino.
Mm-mm.
And then two of them were brothers, right?
Oh, the one.
Oh, Perdon.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh, Pedron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's short, is he?
I don't think. I thought.
There was one that made a statement he was short.
Yeah, that's Aldo.
Aldo.
But then at the end, it talks about how good looking he was and how he does look like Alejandro.
I think because Aldo looked like Dario because they're both related to Aldo.
Yeah, no, he's the short one.
Did we lose Ishi?
Oh. She moved a little bit.
God, this live show.
No, it's frozen.
She's back.
She's back.
Kind of.
Frozen.
Have we lost Nicole as well?
Yes.
Wait, Nicole's kind of back, but kind of not. She's not. Oh my god. Oh my god, which one of us is going to go next?
It's probably me because my Wi-Fi is bad.
No, but like if they've frozen for both of us, it means that they've had issue. Oh,
I'm here. I can hear you.
okay, Nicole's back.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you the whole time.
If she's still
I
frozen.
wrote it in the chat.
Wait, did you write in the chat?
Yeah. I can hear you. Okay.
Is Itchy still gone? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm wondering if it's gonna like clock out because she's the host.
No, I don't think so. I think she can leave and come back in. I think.
Okay.
Everyone
so did I go out for a little bit?
She's setting the oh. Hello. She's back. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. We're good.
Wait, can you hear
Yeah.
me
Mhm.
Yeah.
now? Okay. Sorry, everyone was frozen and I was frozen.
Oh.
We were still talking, but you were frozen for us.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were debating whether Aldo was a short one, and I've looked it up and he was.
Okay.
Because he
But
says
then,
I'm
then at the end, I swear he was described as like not short.
No, he's described as good looking, like
Oh,
facially.
okay.
Like he's really good looking. But like he's short. You can be good looking and short.
Yeah, apparently you can. I just
Like I think he's really fit, but he's short. But I suppose boys have still got growing to go at this age. Like you know,
I don't think
yeah.
he's got room to grow. So like 15, 16.
Yeah, and see that was the thing, you know how we were saying about how she's being adopted now and she's like that age. That was the age like Alyssa got married off. Like isn't it weird?
Yeah.
Right?
It is weird that they waited that long to that age. Because at that time, surely you'd be like, oh, you're an adult now.
Yeah.
Like, especially at that time. Like, I don't think they would see any point in doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like
think I
maybe they
decided
just
on my
wanted.
rating.
Really?
Sorry.
What?
Hello.
Hello?
Okay. I was gonna say, I think that they decided to adopt her. I think maybe it was because they knew how much she went through when she was a kid, and they wanted to give her maybe that like stability of knowing that she has a family. Maybe.
Yeah, but why not do it earlier then?
Yeah.
I still don't get that either.
Yeah.
So.
It's weird.
I keep thinking Ishi is frozen again, and I'm not sure if it's just because she's not moving or if she's actually frozen.
No, I think she's
Okay, I think she's because a second ago I thought she was frozen, and then she blinked, and I was like, "Oh, okay, she's not frozen." But I think this time she is. Ishi.
I think I've decided on my rating.
Oh, tell me. I don't want to actually wait. Oh, I'm nervous.
Why?
Okay, tell me. Tell us.
2.75. But for me, okay, hear me out. 2.5 is an average rating for me because you know how people go, oh, 3 stars?
Yeah.
That's average. That's not average for me. 2.5
Yeah.
is. So 2.75 is just above average.
my average rating is like 3.8.
Oh my god, Nicole, I can't believe that. I'm actually shook. What are you going to rate it on
I don't-
Goodreads? 2 or 3? Like, what are you going to
3 on Goodreads.
3. Wow. Wow, this is momentous. Nicole, the whole reason we did this whole read along was because we wanted to read this book. It's all led up to now, and you haven't liked the book.
I liked it. I just didn't love it.
Okay.
Oh my god, way to guilt trip me.
Oh dear. Oh, something else I want to talk about was like, what did you think of the way that the boys treated Red, like during their training and stuff?
I thought it was really realistic.
Yeah, I thought it was realistic too.
Yeah.
Because like
I liked the bit though when like she had to change in front of everyone.
yeah,
And they were like build a wall.
Made a little wall.
yeah. I think it was good because like it showed like multiple reactions, like them being like, why is there a girl here, or being like really rude to her, or then them learning from it, or like treating her right from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of different like reactions to there being a girl there. Yeah, I thought that was like a good part of it, even if the boys were a bit interchangeable. Like I read a Goodreads review earlier, and it was like all of the boys in this are super unique and different, and I was like,
yeah, I think I read that review, and I was like,
really? You think that too? Like what?
Wait, what was that? I didn't listen.
There was a Goodreads review where they were like, all of the boys in this book are really unique and different. All of the army boys or whatever, the guard boys. I won't.
No.
Maybe 2 of them were, maybe 3, but
Oh, you're
that's
back,
it.
Ishi.
She's been back ages.
was I not there before?
I can't hear her though.
She's been back ages. I can hear her.
Yeah, same.
I can't hear at all.
I can.
I can't hear at all. Can she hear me?
You.
I can hear you.
I can hear her.
Yeah, same.
Can you hear me?
Wait, I can hear you.
Oh, we got a
Nicole?
question. We can answer this question.
The nonfiction one?
Yeah.
Any subject of nonfictions interested in?
Non-fiction. Not my
I-
area, but
I like nonfiction, but I don't really know what subjects of nonfiction I'd say I'm interested in. I'm interested in like books about gender, books about race, and then political nonfiction I'm interested in. But that's because I'm a bit of like a geek about politics. It's a bit boring. No one ever likes my political books that I talk about because no one else cares about. My favorite breed of political nonfiction is when people write a whole book about a general elections, like, you know, like a political like prime ministerial election. I love reading about all the like backstage dirt that goes down, like people like backstabbing each other. I love that, but yeah, like no one cares about that because that's just
I
me.
like reading about history, like historical nonfiction, like European history,
I really
especially
like
like all the
medical ones.
wars.
Oh my god, wait. Ishi was talking and Nicole can't hear her.
Okay,
Okay, Ishi go, and then I'll tell Nicole when you're done.
Okay, I really like historical
Maybe should I
nonfiction
try,
about.
like, hang on.
She's doing it again. I watched like the first season or 2 of Scandal, like back when it came out, Katie, but like since then haven't really watched it. Anyway, Ishi, go.
I like historical nonfiction about wars.
Oh my god, I just threw my head back, it really hurt. I went like
Oh my god, okay, I pulled out my headphones, put them in, now I can hear you. Sorry, go
Okay.
Ishi.
Okay, perfect. I like historical nonfiction about wars, and especially European history and art history.
I like a good autobiography. All the ones I've read are really good. So
yeah. I really loved Michelle Obama's autobiography. That was like my favorite. That's such a good one.
I need to listen to that. I haven't gone into it yet.
It's really good. I wish
the
I had
audiobook is so good.
Yeah, I read it physically. I might reread the audiobook at some point. I also read like media books, but that's because I study media. So like, I just read it because I feel like I'm supposed to. But I've got like my professor's books on my Goodreads want to read. Oh my god! I just thought of Katie. You need to watch Yeah, hang on. Sorry, let me collect my thoughts. Katie, you need to watch The Thick of It. Have you watched The Thick of It? It's an old show, but it's so funny. Like it's like a political comedy. It's so good. You guys know Peter Capaldi, the Doctor? He used to play the Doctor. No? Okay. Doctor Who? No? Okay. He was Doctor Who at some point, and he plays like the spin doctor, like the media guy for the government, and he's just like barging into rooms going like, fuck yeah. It's The thick of it is so good. I want to rewatch it. My boyfriend, we watched it like 10 times. It's so funny. But it's so uncomfortable. Like you watch it and you're like, because it's so cringy as well. But yeah, okay, I'll shut up about that now. We kind of got derailed from the book.
Yeah, the fiction was.
I just feel like maybe I enjoyed this book so much more than everyone. Well, maybe not so much more, but like I enjoyed it more because I read so many bad books this past week. So when I read this, I was like, oh my god, literary genius! I've been reading loads of bad books this week. So yeah, then I read this.
I did like this. I just think I went into it thinking it was going to be something else, and especially the first half was kind of delivering on what my expectations were, and then it just nosedived. Not nosedived. It wasn't awful or anything. But you have to. I'm really like.
You're harsh.
I really am.
You're so harsh.
And I feel like it depends on my mood as well. Like if I'm in a shit mood.
We did stay up until like 3 a.m. to finish this book. I would be then to have to wake up like 3 hours later. I'd be resenting the book.
Well, it's not even that, but it's just like it depends what my reading mood's in. Like, and I was really in the mood for what it was at the start, and then it ended up being something different.
Simone's frozen.
Oh no!
She's back.
This live show has been.
Okay, sorry, my Wi-Fi got knocked out.
When I was
no, Katie, you didn't raise my expectations. I thought it was going to be more of a character-focused story, which is what I wanted, and then it kind of. I feel like I'm really picky with sequels as well, with how they're done, because a lot of the time I'm not happy with them.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was signing up for like StreamYard. It says a lot of people have been streaming lately because of like self-isolation. So everyone's just sitting at home like streaming with friends, which is why it's like it's slow.
Oh, Mina's here. Hi, Mina.
Yeah, I just said hello in the chat so I didn't interrupt everyone. Anything else we need to talk about? I'm trying to look at my notes. God, I feel like I didn't enjoy this book as much now. Only because
sorry.
I feel like I was too generous to begin with. I read some
kind of want to lower it.
I think I'd only lower it to like a 3.75, 3.5. Like I don't think I'd go lower than that. Considering
I really want to find out about that character who died. Like,
I tell you, I've looked it up and it says online that she dies, but then in the book, I scrolled back to like the battle scene and all it ever says is I think she's dead. I think she's seriously injured and I think she's died. But I think you see at some point like, oh, she's not breathing or she's been so severely.
Yeah, I vividly remembered this scene where she's like lying on the floor.
Yeah,
dead,
me too.
Yeah, covered in blood, and it's like, strange that like they wouldn't bring her up again in the actual trilogy, and then she just magically appears now when she needs a villain.
At least, and you think if she was like, she would still be disfigured, right? So like, you think maybe that would be mentioned in the book at the very least, like.
Also, isn't Aldo the same age as like Rosario and
Yeah, and shouldn't he be younger because Rosario was already alive then?
No, but Rosario is the son of the queen, and she was like a mistress.
So he was like 4 by the time Elisa came, so that makes sense that he could have had a mistress like at the same time. But then
didn't he? I thought he really loved his queen, and then when she died, that's when he started taking on all these ladies.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he really loved her and still had mistresses, because I feel like it was kind of expected back then that you have mistresses. Or not back then, but you know what I mean, like in the kind of in like the time period that is set, I feel like it would be. But then like she was like, oh, me and Alejandro always knew we would one day marry and you would be king, so we kept you secret. I'm like, so why did he not marry you? Like he didn't want to marry. This is bullshit. Like it's in your head, or like did you actually? I was like, you're chatting bullshit. That wasn't a plan.
It's otherwise convenient.
Yeah, like why would Aldo be king ever when he had like an actual heir with like the actual queen?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were like, oh, he's also Cosme's nephew, so that means he
It
has a
doesn't
better
matter.
right to the throne. That's not how it works,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe I don't know. Maybe she's just
And then the
making
whole
up her own
Cosme
rules.
thing doesn't make sense because Cosme's was because remember she's only half, so she was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a bastard. So technically, Arena should have been inherited whatever Cosme inherited, but she didn't. But that whole thing just seems like the biggest.
She didn't because she was dead.
Yeah.
And then now she's back to life.
It doesn't make
Why
sense. This makes me want to lower it even more.
Why has no one mentioned that in the ratings?
We should mention it. I'm gonna write a review. I have some questions.
Someone marked it 1 star and just said boring.
Oh, goodness.
I'm trying to find like a review where it maybe references the fact that like wasn't
But maybe,
Arena-
like you were saying, the others haven't read it recently, so they can't make the connection. Although, like, I don't know.
I'm trying to do some research.
It really bothers me, this. You guys have no idea how long it's taken me to finally be calling this Empire of Dreams and not Empire of Bloody Storms.
Oh my god, yeah, you kept confusing me because you kept calling it that, and I was like,
Oh. Too many similar titles out there.
yeah, right? Like they're all the same at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not speaking. I'm genuinely trying to look up any review that mentions, isn't this bitch dead? Like, no one
Can't
else.
you, like, ask the author questions?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
shall I?
I really
Hang on.
want to.
I
Oh,
don't
maybe
think
people
I
will
say that
come
it was
watch our
never
live show.
explicitly mentioned that she was dead.
Huh?
I didn't realize you linked the live show on the Goodreads page.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, I hope the author doesn't see it.
She's gonna click on it and be like, I might get rid of it, not gonna lie. I didn't know everyone would dislike it.
Wait, you linked this?
In my Goodreads review, I linked to the live stream. So you can click on it and come and watch it.
Did you do that for every book?
I'm not sure. I feel like I did it for at least another one. But I'm not sure.
Wait, Cinder William Chimer. Is that Cinder the author?
No.
Was it
Ray
just
Carson is the author.
No. Like Cinder. There's a review from her, but I'm just wondering
Oh,
if that's
yes,
the
that's an
author,
author.
Cinder Williams Chimer. I think that's her name.
Should I tweet Ray
It
Carson
is.
asking it?
Yes.
Okay, hang on. Can we craft this tweet? I'm gonna tweet her. Okay, hang on. Let's do this together. Okay, no, we want to be nice. We want to be really nice. So just like, hey, we want to be really nice. We don't want to be mean.
Wait, are you tweeting at her?
I'm tweeting Ray Carson. We're gonna ask her. Was she not alive? Okay,
You have
hang on.
guts.
I don't know. Let's just phrase it as a genuine question. Just go. Hang on.
Just curious. I might have.
Hey, just a bit confused about something. No, just a bit.
Yeah.
I
Got my
don't-
information a bit muddled.
She may not respond to it because it will be a spoiler.
Oh.
Can you DM her?
No, she doesn't have her DMs open.
Send her an email.
Oh my god, hang on. Let's see if she's got This is so bad. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's see if I can message her on Facebook. Because I don't want to tweet it and spoil anyone.
I swear there's like an ask section in
And
Yeah,
Goodreads?
I couldn't find
yeah,
it.
you can ask. Oh, it's ask the Goodreads community.
Oh, yeah.
Should we still do that?
Contact. Here we go. God, Ray Carson is a difficult woman to contact.
Oh, here we go. Katie said, "Say looking for some clarification." That's a good way to put it.
Ooh, yes.
No, I like that. It's not passive aggressive.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
What I was gonna say was passive aggressive.
Okay, I have to contact her through her website. Hang on, so I've got to put my email in. What's her name? Alina?
Or
Arena?
Arena with a little Arinia.
I don't want to misspell her name because I would look
Big
really.
fan.
Oh my god.
You think
Oh,
she
yeah.
forgot that she died in the first book?
But how do you forget?
You need to go back and look. Okay. Hey, just looking. It tells you to put a subject in, and I just put arena. It's just subject arena.
Maybe just put like query.
No, I'm just putting that. For clarification, just finished Empire of Dreams and really liked it. Same can't be said for the Carl in brackets. And really liked it, but I was a bit confused because I thought Arena had died in the first book.
At the end of the first book.
Died at the end of the first book. Was this not the case? If so, why did Cosme inherit the title? How would I phrase that?
Yeah.
Why did Cosme inherit her father's title instead of Arena?
No, maybe say something. Oh, like, I don't know.
I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
This is so bad.
If she replies, this is what she's going to say. She never died because it was never explicitly said in the book that she was dead. And because of her betrayal, Elisa made her be disinherited of her titles or something.
Yeah, because it says.
Also, where was
banished.
she the whole time?
It says that she was banished. Like in this book, it says
that
like,
never happened though. It would have happened in the books because that's something Elisa would have done. Like
Yeah,
and we would have seen in a scene.
It says, you were exiled because you conspired to betray my father. You were stripped of title. Your sister Cosme made heir to your land and titles. You got exactly what you deserved.
Yeah, so I guess she was stripped of her title.
But that never happened.
That never happened.
In like the original trilogy.
Wow.
Honestly, this is making me want to lower the book even more. If an author can't stick to her facts.
Like there might have been like a sentence hiding somewhere. That we just don't remember.
Use your actual email. Do an anonymous or like.
Oh, too late.
Make up one.
Well, if you're sending it to the author, I don't think you're going to be like spammed or like.
No,
like
unless she exposes me.
You never know. Remember that whole
post on Twitter
drama?
I haven't done anything bad. I've just asked for some information. There might have been like a sentence we don't remember in the second book, like right at the beginning, going, "I banished Arena." And that was it.
Yeah, but
you know
why?
I mean?
But
it
like,
doesn't
why?
Make sense,
because why would she leave that open? And I'm pretty sure she wasn't planning on making another book after the original trilogy since it's been a long time. So why would she leave it open like that if that was the case?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense with Cosme being,
What if she was stripped of her?
Imagine if we did just miss this information and like we're wrong.
Like
turn around and give us receipts. She could be like, if you look on page 13 of the second book, you'll find she was stripped of her titles, and we'll be like, I wish there was like a Control F on Kindle that I could search for her name.
Is there not like search contents?
I don't think there is.
I thought there was.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I haven't had Kindle in years.
I can't. I only have the app anyway on my iPad. I don't have like an actual Kindle.
Oh, wait, it works on mine.
Oh.
Do it for the second book.
Okay.
Do you own them on Kindle?
Oh, wait. If you don't have them, don't bother because you have to buy the book.
No, I have the library. I can just get the ebook really quick.
Oh, okay. We'll finally get off this.
I love that we're doing this in the live show. People must be like, what are they doing?
Yeah. But like when I found out that Aldo like was the baddie and he trapped them in the toilet, I actually gasped. Like I actually went and I never do that. And then when
I was too busy working out which kid he was.
Okay, she's not mentioned one time in this whole thing. It says no matches. She's not mentioned at all in the second book.
Can we check the first book?
Yeah.
Because it does make sense if she's been exiled, if she did survive. That does make sense because her father wasn't around, so she wouldn't have had any political alliance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't they find out that she'd betrayed Alejandro?
Did you?
I don't
They
think
don't
she
have the
betrayed
first book at my
Alejandro.
library.
I think she betrayed Elisa about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is maybe. Let's just hope Raycasting gets back to us, eh? This may be like an out-of-date thing I replied to. She's not exactly the easiest woman to get a hold of.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't respond.
Oh, wait,
Well, we can hope.
I found it.
A scene of her getting exiled?
Oh no, I found the ebook.
Oh.
Let's see.
I feel like we didn't have much to discuss on this one. The other ones I feel like we we
I
went
feel
well
like
over
not
an
much
hour
happened.
easy. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. The last time she's mentioned, it says, good, he sighs. Then Irina's dead, isn't she? I'm not sure,
Yeah.
Alejandro, but I think so. That's the last time she's mentioned.
That's all I saw.
Can you go back a bit and see if there's like a scene where she's
Yeah.
lying dead? Because I vividly remember that. I hope I'm not making it up.
Yeah, it says he's on the floor beside Irina, forced to stare frozen at her broken body.
I'm sorry, but it's not like they're, in some high-tech society where they're going to save her where she's like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is so bizarre.
Yeah, her legs unnaturally cricked and her blood pools on the stone floor. That sounds pretty dead to me.
And then if she's not mentioned in the second book, then that's all we know, is that she's
And I mean,
dead.
if Alejandro didn't survive that, and he was like less injured, I guess you could say, than she was, how the hell did she survive? And also, like, didn't the healer spend the entire night with him to make sure, he was comfortable? So
yeah, there's no way she should have survived that.
She didn't. She
or
just
even if she
came back from
did,
the
there's no
dead.
way she was like walking around.
And there was no exile scene. This is driving me nuts.
Maybe there's multiple arenas. Maybe it's a really common name. What the
That were a mistress?
He just really likes arenas.
See, it would have made sense if she wasn't still alive and then they'd had a baby before and then he was raised by someone else.
Yeah.
And also, like, the timing's kind of suspicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when they all appeared.
Yeah. For him to be, like, the same age as Rosario, like, I don't know. Yeah, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Not this.
Maybe this is more of a 2.25.
Oh my god, Nicole. Nicole, you can't do that.
Well, if things don't make sense.
Wow, this is deep. I did not think I'd be seeing this. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to say? I feel like we've spoken about it.
I think.
There's not really much to say.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's
Like
not
an hour?
unless I don't think we're going to get a speedy response from Ray Carson. Can you imagine if she like slid straight back? She's typing away as we speak. Well, we have got 3 people watching now, so it's very possible.
One of them's me.
One of them is me. The other one is Ray Carson.
Unless Katie's still watching, it'll be her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but no, I haven't got anything else to say. It's okay.
Yeah.
My part.
Okay. Well, everybody, aka Katie, thank you so much. So thank you so much for joining this live stream, and if you read the book along with us, let us know what you
Even though I
thought.
didn't like the last book,
Yeah,
it was a lot
let
of
us know
fun.
if you
Thanks,
thought Rita
guys.
was dead or not.
Mystery of the
yeah,
century.
yeah. Let's wrap it up. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, what's my